Hey guys, so I'm here to talk about depression yet again, and I was deciding on how I wanted to go about it or what I wanted to talk about because it's such a complex issue, and I decided on trying to explain that it makes sense that a lot of us, in 2019 are depressed and that the numbers are increasing, yearly. So the point I'm trying to make is that a lot of this is out of our control and we might not even realize it, but society essentially is creating a perfect storm for depression to run wild. And there's a lot of different reasons for that, and a lot of them are obvious, but I just didn't see them. So I started to really think about it because, the stigma of depression is going down, and the number of people that are seeking treatment and speaking out regarding it is going up, but still the rates are increasing. And that's because, in my opinion at least, society, in regards to technology and smartphones, Facebook, social media in general, texting, all these things rip away our social connection. And we're social creatures. Whether you want to say you're an introvert or an extrovert, doesn't really matter. As a species, thousands of years ago, we survived by living and running together in packs to, hunt and things like that. Like that's how we survived. So over the years, our brain, as like a survival mechanism, has adopted the need for social connection because that's how we survived in the past. So by removing that, it just stokes the fire that is depression, more and more because every day some new app or some new technology is coming out that makes it so we don't have to interact with each other even more so than we already don't. Because when's the last time you sat down with your best friend and really had like a deep conversation with them that wasn't over text? Or, let's talk about like self-checkouts even. Like we don't even have to talk to a cashier anymore. Or we can order whatever we want off Amazon. We don't have to go to Walmart and talk to anybody anymore. And even if we did go to Walmart, we're probably going to go to the self-checkout because, why talk to somebody? And it's like, it's sad, but that's the way society's going. And it really took off, in my opinion at least, when smartphones and social media really came out. Because a lot of studies show that whenever, like between 2010 and 2015, when, the ownership of smartphones skyrocketed throughout the population, depression also skyrocketed along with it. And I believe fully that that is 100% due to the fact that we spend all of our time looking at a screen now and not reaching out and talking to people. We have no in-person interactions, and our minds are essentially telling us that we're failing to survive because of that. So, no, so let's even like forget about that. What about, video games now? So don't get me wrong, I don't like hate on video games that much, but I know whenever I was younger and I was, a pretty depressed person, I played this, it's like I don't know how to describe it to people that don't know, but it was called RuneScape. It's like this horrible computer game where you just like go on quests and things like that. It's like a Dollar General version of World of Warcraft, if you know what that is. But anyway, you pretty much get to create a character in this fantasy land and live a life in virtual world. So, I was failing at reaching people in real life, so I tried to substitute it by pretty much being full blown addicted to this game online because, yeah, you can't interact with other people, but it was like putting a band aid over a gunshot. I mean, yeah, it temporarily took my mind off of the fact that I was depressed and wasn't talking to people, but really, I just wasn't fixing the root of the problem. I was kind of just running from it, dancing around the problem and using like a little thing here and a little thing there to justify like saying that I was okay, but I wasn't. And I know a lot of people that do that now. People just think because they talk to each other over video games and things like that, and you could even say it about text messaging too, that counts, but it makes a difference when you talk to people and have in-person contact with them because that's what we thrive on as a species, as a human. That's what we need. We have psychological and biological needs, and these needs aren't being met. And You know what? Another thing is just the fact that nowadays society kind of demands, or at least makes it seem like, that we need to have everything like now, 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 now. Like we need to go graduate in 4 years, get out, start paying our school loans, get a house, get a career. But the thing is, like, so many people fall victim, myself included, to that stress that, our mental health just plummets. And it's really unreasonable for the majority of us to reach those expectations. Like 30 years ago, maybe even less, it was totally, reasonable to think that you could go to college, get a good job, and then move into a house pretty soon after that, and your college loans would be paid off pretty soon because you got the job from the degree and everything would be cool. But it's not like that anymore, because nowadays a bachelor's degree is essentially like a high school diploma. And the jobs are so competitive now because everybody has a bachelor's degree. So like that assurance, or the likelihood of us getting jobs like that, and living out what like the society would want us to, like with the white picket fence and everything, it's becoming a lot harder. And whether people realize it or not, it's taking a big toll on them mentally. And another thing that really got to me before was Facebook. Honestly, this is why I like Twitter, but Facebook is the most fake thing out there. Honestly, it's a bunch of people like carefully crafting and molding what they want you to think. And it used to crush me, like whenever I would be doing bad in school and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I would see all these people like graduating, getting houses, getting married, all this stuff. I felt awful about myself. I could not, I couldn't deal with it. It honestly led me to drop out, at one point. And it took me a while to realize that no one shares their failures on Facebook. No one shows those downtimes. No one shows the fact that their parents gave them 60 grand for that house, or their parents bought them that truck, or that, people that are getting married are cheating on each other the whole time, but they take a really good picture with some Instagram filters and throw it on Facebook or on some other social media. And, having that realization actually helped me a lot. So I hope that if you guys don't have that realization, that you can convince yourself that, Facebook's like the fakest thing out there. I hate using Facebook, actually. Honestly, if like the majority of you guys watching this watched on my YouTube account instead, I would probably delete my Facebook altogether. But it's a constant competition with social media in general. I mean, even Instagram, all these filters and everything, body image issues, self-confidence, eating disorders, all these things are just like so directly correlated to, social media. It's unbelievable the amount of, power that these things have over us as a society. It's like, it's impressive, but it's really scary at the same time. And also, like, I'll dash in like a little, like, it's really sick in there too, because it is. You just see all these people trying to one up each other, and who has the nicest car, who has this, who has that. And even in like your desire to be the best and one up your next door neighbor, and that, trying to like reach those expectations can gut you mentally as well. So it's just, like I mentioned, it's like the perfect storm for depression to just reign supreme right now. And doctors are doing their best right now with like antidepressants and things like that, but I still feel like, like I mentioned in my last video, that if we combined antidepressants with actual therapy, and also tried to look at some of the outside factors regarding like the depression, like jobs and social connection, you have a meaningful life. If we could attack all three of those things in one fell swoop, then I think that as a society that we could really make a dent in this. Not that we aren't right now, but I think we could do better. And that's partially why I made the video about this thing I am today, like this specific topic, because I know how overwhelming it can feel to be alive in this, like, it's just chaotic constantly. Like, the world is just constantly going. It feels like sometimes it's like you have the spins, you just look around and you're like, you feel like you don't even know what happened the last few days. You have no idea. Like, it's just everything's going so fast now. It's hard to, catch your breath. And, I fell a victim to these things that society, created basically. And, through, research, practice, trial and error, failing, getting back up, failing again, getting back up, failing again, I've really opened my eyes to these things, and it's really helped me to kind of brush them off and not worry about anything around me and just fix the stuff I can fix. Like, I try every day to talk to somebody. I really try to talk to somebody new and different every day that I haven't talked to in a while. But regardless, I try to talk to somebody every day. I try to see somebody in person every day. I try to talk to my family every day. I try to do something productive every day. I try to find value in my job every day. So if you can control these things, then you can actually, put up a pretty decent fight against society. Also, really important, if you're still watching, get to sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time every day. I promise you, if you get your circadian rhythm on track, that your whole day and your whole outlook can change drastically. It seems really small, but it's something you can do pretty easily for most people. And the results for such a small effort can be just so astronomically positive. So, I challenge you guys today to not beat yourselves up and not compare yourselves to other people, and, be grateful with where you're at right now, because that's your story. That's your journey. Don't let society get you down. Don't fall victim to social media. Maybe limit looking to Facebook 2 or 3 times a day, which sounds crazy, but, it's a start. Put your phone down and just try and talk to somebody, even if it's somebody you walk past on the road, and see where that gets you, because in my experience it helped greatly. So I hope you guys got something out of this, because I know that I'm not the only one out there that's dealt with these problems. So thanks, guys.